I was hired to photograph a funeral. What the widow did when she thought no one was looking still haunts me. I've been a professional photographer for 15 years, capturing everything from newborns to weddings. But last year I was asked to photograph something I'd never done before. A funeral. The request came from a woman named Rebecca, whose husband had died suddenly at 42. She wanted beautiful memories of the service for their 8-year-old daughter, who was too young to process everything now but would want to see it later. I hesitated but ultimately agreed. I photographed emotional moments before. This would just be at the other end of life's spectrum. The funeral was elegant and tasteful. I stayed discreet, capturing the flower arrangements, the meaningful displays of her husband's life, family members consoling each other, and the little daughter in her black dress clutching a teddy bear wearing her dad's cologne. After the service, everyone moved to the reception hall while the funeral director prepared for the final viewing before cremation. Rebecca asked me to photograph the empty chapel just as it was before everything was dismantled. I waited until everyone had left, then slipped back in to capture the flowers, the portrait of her husband surrounded by candles, and the elegant coffin at the front. As I adjusted my lens settings, Rebecca returned alone. She didn't notice me standing quietly in the back corner. What I witnessed next was the most private moment of raw grief I've ever seen. Rebecca approached the coffin, looking around to ensure she was alone. She carefully placed something inside and I later realized it was her wedding ring. Then she pulled out her phone, set it on the edge of the coffin, and pressed play on what appeared to be a video. The unmistakable sound of her husband's voice filled the empty chapel. "Happy anniversary, babe, 10 years, can you believe it?" The video continued with him laughing and reminiscing. Rebecca stood perfectly still, listening. When the video ended, she replayed it, and again. And again, on the fourth replay, she finally broke. She climbed halfway into the coffin, laying her head on his chest, sobbing uncontrollably while the video played on loop. "Dance with me." "One more time," she whispered between sobs. "Just one more time." She began swaying slightly, one hand on his chest, the other clutching his suit jacket, dancing with her dead husband while his recorded voice told her how much he loved her. I should have left. This wasn't meant for anyone's eyes, but I was frozen, my finger automatically pressing the shutter button, a professional reflex I couldn't stop. The camera was silent, but I felt like the worst kind of intruder. After what seemed like forever, she kissed him one final time, straightened his tie, and composed herself completely before walking out, never knowing I had witnessed everything. 2 weeks later, I delivered the funeral photos, carefully edited and organized. I included all the appropriate shots of the service, the mourners, the flowers, and her daughter's brave little face, but I kept the photos of her private dance on a separate USB drive. When we met for the delivery, I handed her both drives. "What's the second one?" she asked. "These are just for you," I said quietly, "not for sharing. You'll know which ones when you see them." She called me that night sobbing. "Thank you," she kept saying. "I thought no one saw who I really was that day. Thank you for seeing me." I photographed hundreds of weddings where couples promise until death do us part. Rebecca is the only person I've ever seen who refused to let death part them from their dance. I still think about her every time I photograph a wedding. When the couple shares their first dance, I wonder if they'll love each other enough to dance one last time when no one is supposed to be watching.